Excuse me? Did you just ask what was BGK Network for? I'm glad that you asked. Let me get the number up because I know you're going to call. So BGK was founded by Michael. What happened to the number? The number's at the top of the screen now. But anyway, get the number. As I was saying, BGK Network was founded by... It's at the bottom of the screen. Really? Really? Okay. I'm sorry for calling you Michael. Apostle, just put me back where I can talk. Just put me back, please. Wow, some people are so sensitive, right? But seriously, what you just saw was a sample of what Apostle Michael Dulaney and Evangelist Tiffany can do through virtual ministry with BGK Network. They founded BGK to help people like you and myself to put the gospel out around the world. It's a great opportunity. I do encourage you to call the number. It's more affordable than you think. Give them a call. I did.
There, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About Marriage and the Family. Oh, I tell you, I am so excited. I got phone calls from so many of you, and you were talking about how much you enjoy the presentation. Thank you so much. For those of you that it's only a phone call, I'm only a phone call away, and you could make a very old lady happy by giving me a phone call at 972, and this is my little card. I want you to see my little card. I'll put it over my face. 972-816-7887, or you can reach out to me on my email, rjjoseph920@gmail.com. I need your help. I'm trying to build an audience, a regular audience. We are currently on Mondays on the BGK Network on Roku television, not the Roku channel, Roku television. And you come down to BGK, and once you click on BGK, you will see the saints, and there you will see my face. It won't shock you or scare you, but I definitely want to build my audience. And I'm asking you, I'm imploring you to please help me do that. I also want to build my counseling ministry, because what happens is that I am a certified marriage and family counselor, a pastoral counselor. And I am not going to keep you for years. And that may be that a person needs that type of help. But if you really want to work on your marriage, you really want to work on your family, I would ask you to please get in contact with me. My success rate has been tremendous. People that have used my services. In fact, when I lived in Chicago, I had a judge who referred a couple to me. They were in his courtroom seeking a divorce, and he had his administrative assistant contact me and put them in the counseling sessions with me. We only did 4 sessions. Come to find out, they wanted to remain married. They had hit some stumbling blocks, and they are yet married on today. So I'm happy. I do have some follow-up clients that call me up and they say, well, we're still married. We're doing the things that you suggested. So I do want you to use my services. It's like putting food out in front of you, and it's food that could help you and benefit you. And then you decide, this isn't what I want to do. Let me encourage you. I had a woman who called, and she got all of the paperwork and everything, and her husband refused to sign. He said, I don't need any help. And I said to her, you know what, you can continue on with your journey by getting the help you need. Become my client, and you will get the help you will need, and he'll become godly jealous of the new person you are, and will want to seek that type of relationship where God has said about husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. And so she took my advice. She did her sessions. She did her 3 sessions, became a different woman, and said, my husband now wants to come because he sees the change in me. So spiritual counseling for your situation, your marriage, for your family, it will work. It will work. And my guest, Minister Renee Carter, is going to also talk about another ministry and another aspect of therapeutic help that I believe the body of Christ never has fully addressed. It's been kicked under the rug time and time again. So I welcome back for a part 2, my guest, Minister Renee Carter, and I want to thank her for coming and being a part of today's session. Let's talk about marriage and the family. So we're going to hit it now, Minister Renee.
All right. Yes.
Star wants to hit it also. She gave her little bark.
Okay. Hi, Star.
So that prompts her to stand here by the desk and beg for treats.
Yes.
So how are you doing today?
I am well today. How are you?
I am doing just fine, just fine.
Wonderful.
I thank God for your coming back. I want to pick up where we left off. Masterclass.
Yes.
Put up the book and tell us thoroughly what this masterclass is all about.
All right. The masterclass is an event.
Okay.
I will use the term event because it does include the full experience of What About Me? And what do I mean by that? I mean the book itself, a video, and a study guide. Okay. The video contains, well, the masterclass and the book is divided into about 12 chapters, and they each deal with a specific area of our emotional health, our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health. So this is a holistic journey. And one of the things that I've done when I'm talking about it, and actually there is an ad and an article, we mentioned Dr. Chan. Well, he has so many things, so many books, but he also has this leadership journal, and it's called Avail, Avail Journal.
Okay.
And I encourage people to check that out because you can get a free 1-year subscription to Avail.
Okay.
All right. And it's 4 issues. Well, I have an article in the winter 2023 edition. And also I was featured as a guest on the Avail podcast. So I've got some things going on there. But the book itself, the masterclass, contains the snippets of conversations that I had with all of the participants. I call you all of the voices. And it's actually a recording of the interview that I had with all of you, talking about, your specific areas. And then the video, has some other information there. And then you are to read the book. You read the book for a more in-depth self-reflection and even more educational. Then there's the study guide. Okay. You can either do this masterclass is so flexible, and you can personalize it to your needs. Okay. I call it a conference in a book. Okay. All right. You can literally see yourself. You know how we go to conferences. Yes, yes. We pay the fee, whatever that is. Yes. We travel to the conference. We stay at a hotel if it's out of town. So we've got all those expenses to go to this conference.
Yes.
And then when you get there, there's an itinerary, and normally there are breakout sessions, and they're already invited guests, and usually these are people of high caliber in their respective fields.
Yes, yes.
And a lot of times you have to choose the breakout session that you want to attend.
Yes, yes.
And let's just say there are only maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a total of 10
guests.
Well, you can't go to all of them.
No, you can't.
You can't, but you want to.
Yes, yes.
So see the whole masterclass experience, the whole book, as a 12 session conference.
Okay.
Where you don't have to travel.
Mm-hmm.
There are no expenses for that. You pay whatever the cost of the master class. That's your entrance to the conference.
Okay.
And then you can attend all of the breakout sessions, which are all 12 chapters in the book. You can do that yourself. You can do that whenever you want to do it. And the video is yours forever. So you can do that for your own self-reflection, your own education, your own self-care, your own soul care, or you can take your team. Let's just say your leadership team.
Okay.
Take your leadership team through this, and then you can work it together, and you can do it virtually.
Yes, yes.
Or if you want to do it, bring your team in, and then you all commit to however many weeks you want to for leadership development, for team development, for self-care, for soul care.
Yes.
You can do this, what about me, and experience this however you want to. It's up to you. The key is that you experience it. I also want to get this into the hands of the academy, Bible colleges, seminaries. When we're talking about pastoral care, yes, we have to study hermeneutics. Yes, we have to study the Old, the New Testament. Yes, we have to do that. We have to build up our spirit, man.
Yes.
But what about and I think we, Dr. Joseph, even in the academy, we're realizing that, we need to also focus on the emotional well-being of that leader in the church and the mental health. Oh my goodness, the incidences of suicide.
Yes, yes.
Even in the pulpit, I mentioned it in my book.
Yes.
Where you think, everything's fine, they look so good, and then the next thing you know, well, what does that do to that family? What does that do to that church family? How do we process that?
Yes.
So it's just a lot that this book will open up some things.
Yes.
It really will. Yeah. And things that we must address.
Okay.
We must tend to.
How do we get the master class? I know we can get the book on any of the websites, Amazon, any of the big, we can get the book. How do we get the master class?
Go to my website.
What is
now? There are 2 ways of getting it, but I'm gonna give you the simple way. Okay.
Okay.
My website is, and I'll say it and then I'll spell it. It's ReneeHillCarter.com. Okay. So it's ReneeHillCarter.com.
All right.
And you'll see tabs for masterclass. You'll see tabs for grief. You'll see tabs for all the products that I have there. You can get when you subscribe to the masterclass, when you pay your conference fee, I'm going to put it that way, okay? Then you're going to get the full experience, the book, the video, and the study guide. Okay. So I encourage people to just go to the website and just do the whole piece with the master class. However, if you want to test the waters first, then you can also go to my website when you click on masterclass, it will give you an option. Either you can do the masterclass or it will say buy the book alone. So you can go there and get the book.
Okay.
And you can also, as you said, go to any of the, book retailers, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, just wherever you get your books. You can do that as well if you want to test the waters. I have an expanded edition. The first publication was 2019, and I just released 2023
Okay.
expanded, updated edition, which includes a section on grief, love, and loss.
Okay.
Also, it's updated to include all of the voices in the book, updated with where are they now? What are they doing? And most importantly, what is not in the first book, how you all can be contacted.
Yes. Okay. All right.
And what you're doing, if you've written books, if you have new initiatives, which you do,
Yes.
and so many do, but how can I get in contact with these folks? I need them to come and speak to my people. I need them to come, so I've included that. And also some updated resources and references that can be used. But I really, really, really hope that I can get it in the academy, in Bible colleges, and in the hands of pastors so that they can take the course themselves and take their people through.
Yes, yes. And that's so important. We tend to think that we're doing okay. And we are not. I am a board certified chaplain. So when I was doing my clinical pastoral education, I was at the hospital up in Concord. And I had just started my shift on a Saturday. I was going to be in for full 2 days. And that's what we call it when you're not being able to go home. So I had just started my shift about 5 o'clock on a Saturday, and I got a page that there was a code stroke in the emergency department. So I get to the emergency department, and they say, no, we need you in another area. When I got to that area, there was a little baby on a table, and the doctors were working on the baby. Baby would expire, and they bring the baby back. Baby would expire, they would bring the baby back. Wow. And now I'm standing between the mother on my left and the father on my right. And the father said the last time that they brought the little boy back, said, let him go. I don't want him to continue to suffer like this. And so they let him go. And of course, I had to minister to the family, and was with that family as well as with the nurses and doctors, because they were affected. I got back to the chaplain headquarters in the hospital, and then I got a call of a fetal demise. And so now then I've got to go down to the birthing center, and I've got to interact with the mother and the father there that baby just died. And then the mother said, well, that they were going to allow the hospital to autopsy the baby and handle the remains. But she wanted to have some sort of little memorial service, and she was going to be discharged the next day. So I put together a memorial service, ministering to him and to her, a little program booklet and everything, so they would have something to remember. I go back to the chaplain headquarters, and I'm there, and I'm asleep. And I get a call about 5 o'clock in the morning from the emergency director. The ED director says, can you get down here? I've got a SIDS coming in, a SIDS, infant death. So I had 3 baby deaths in the entire weekend. So when the other chaplains come in at 8 o'clock in the morning, they're looking for me. They can see that the bed is not made up, and that's not Ramona. So they're looking throughout the hospital for me. And I was actually with the mother. She had twins, had woke up, and she and her husband had fed the twins. And at 6 o'clock, or rather about 4 o'clock in the morning, woke up to do another feeding, and one did not wake up. And so now this becomes a case where the law has to become involved. So they've got to take the baby from the mother. And I
Oh,
will never forget the screams of that mother as they took the baby away from her, because they have to photograph the
mm,
baby. They've got to make certain that the baby wasn't a victim of abuse.
right.
So by the time my other chaplains that are going to be on the day shift, I'm supposed to be released to go home. When
Hmm.
they find me, I am literally slumped against the wall because it has been such a trying weekend.
Yes.
But I appreciated the care that I got from my fellow chaplains, because I did go home, and all throughout the day they were calling, "Are you okay? Let's talk
Yeah.
about what happened. Let's process what
Hmm.
was happening." And I appreciated that. And then my
Yes.
supervisor, she was calling, and she said, "If you can, I need you to write down all of the feelings that you had from this
Hmm.
experience." And that's all counseling is just,
Yeah.
let's process these experiences that you.
Hmm.
So tell me about grief, because a lot of times, as a pastor, when somebody's mother,
Hmm.
well, a pastor, why did God take my mother? And, people look for an answer, and, it's
Hmm.
God needed
Hmm.
another wonderful person in his kingdom, and that's why he brought her home. That may satisfy the person, but it doesn't help their grief. Tell me about grief.
Mm.
Talk to me about grief.
Wow. Just what you said, Dr. Joseph, when you said, yeah, well, God needed another, uh, person in his kingdom, and he, wanted them to come home and all. Okay. So that is a very, very good spiritual answer, right? But emotionally, that can just wreck people in a way that you really don't understand. One of the things that I talk about as I'm working with someone uh, in their grief, to process their grief, and I use two words, as I work with them and I walk with them in their
Mhm.
grief. So, grief is a natural and a normal response or reaction to a loss of any kind.
Mhm.
You mentioned death. That is one of the more obvious losses, but there's so many other losses that need to be grieved.
Yes.
Losses in relationships, through divorce, uh, through a betrayal from of a friend,
Yeah.
um, loss of safety, loss of a pet,
Yes.
loss of a
Yes.
pet, loss of faith. Oh
Mhm.
my, loss of faith, loss of just all kinds of losses that we may not perceive as a loss that needs to be grieved. And
Yes.
so it is a process. One of the things, and I'm a certified grief recovery method specialist. It's
Mhm.
uh, the only evidence-based program that there is as far as grief is concerned. So I use that method in the work that I do.
Okay.
Okay. Um, and then after we've gone through the method, because the method provides tools
Yes.
that you can use for the rest of your life, because more than likely you're going to experience some more losses. And
Mm.
so it's tools that you can use. But you know what, Dr. Joseph, one of the main things that uh, comes out of grief work, the grief recovery method, is that inward journey that I talk about and What About Me, the inward journey that we oftentimes don't take
Yes.
because there are painful things there.
Mhm.
And I just, when I think about your chapter on substance abuse and some other things, one of the things that you talk about, and I appreciate so much, your transparency, your honesty, your willingness to share personal stories
Yes. Yes.
of grief that
Yes.
impacted you, not only the people that you served, who were dealing with addictions and things of that nature, and there were some awesome stories there. But you know what I have discovered with the grief recovery method and what you talk about and others talked about in the book is the issue of forgiveness.
Yes, 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 yes.
Many times as we're working with people and I'm working and walking through grief with them,
Yes,
and we go to some places that are uncomfortable, not only the presenting issue
yes,
of grief,
yes,
but as they're talking and I'm listening, we call it having a heart with ears.
yes.
Just listening, and they discover things that they said, well, I didn't know that was still bothering me.
Yeah.
And
Mhm,
it was impacting
mhm.
their spiritual growth, their
Yes,
spiritual health,
yes,
things from their home of origin, just all kinds of things. And I'm talking about, because most of the people that I have worked with have been uh, leaders in the faith.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And so that is real, and even just on a personal nature, since we're talking about, you know, the church and how the church responds to grief. And then the things that I do cover is some things not to say to the
yes.
griever.
Oh, oh, yes,
Yeah, and not to say to, let's just say, a child who's grieving,
yes,
because when you say, well, the Lord needed uh, another angel or needed another flower for his garden in heaven, and so he took
yes,
your mother, he took your father, he took, well, more than likely that child, because we're talking a child's mind,
yes,
they're not going to be very interested in having a relationship with somebody who took
yes. Who
their
takes?
loved
Yes,
one. Yeah. So
yes,
we talk about that as well in grief. But on a personal level, when Bishop Davis died, we're talking about a whole church
yes,
who was grieving. And not only a church, but people that he influenced, who was a lot of people
yes, yes,
nationally.
yes,
But Dr. Joseph, and again, I'm not accusing, I'm not passing judgment or anything, but we as a church,
yes,
we didn't know how to grieve
yeah, yeah.
his death. And it resulted in, I call it a diaspora,
Yes,
because
exactly.
we
A falling
scattered.
away, a
It
falling
was a
away.
fallen way. We
Exactly. Yes,
scattered. We
yes, yes.
scattered,
I
and
don't want
so
to go back to the place where I encountered the pain. And
mm-mm,
so there you're absolutely correct. And it had been my recommendation several times
mm-hmm,
for us to do some grief counseling. I
yeah,
I personally believe, and if you're a senior leader and you have an opportunity to watch, let's talk about marriage and the family, when you
mm-hmm,
have a death in your church, have
mm,
or refer that person, refer that family to
mm-hmm,
grief counseling.
yes,
Something more, and our problem sometimes in leadership is that we don't want to admit that we don't wear all the hats.
right.
We don't have the Superman telephone booth in our
Syndrome.
office, and yeah, and we put it on, and now we can
Yeah.
go out and we can do some of the things that we're not trained and or qualified to do,
Mm-hmm,
believing
mm-hmm,
that the Holy Spirit will give you the right answers. But let's start to point our people when we have a death, and let's point them to professional counseling. So, Minister Carter, this has just been a tremendous joy having you here to talk with you, to get your wisdom and your insight. I value you, and I want people to contact you at Renee, Renee Hill, Hill, Carter, CARTER.com. Go on her website. You need to get all of the materials that she has, not only the materials for the book, What About Me, but also the master class where you will get the book, you will get the video, and you will get the study guide. You will
mm-hmm.
also be able to contact her. She is a certified grief recovery therapist and
Specialist.
especially,
Yeah,
and
not therapy.
okay,
Okay.
but she is doing therapy when she will
It's
be
therapy, yeah.
ministering to you and pulling out the things that you need in order to be able to go forth. So, Minister Carter, this presentation will be seen soon. We have some ideas about projecting this presentation also in other ways that people will be able to get your wisdom. Do you have just final 2 or 3 seconds that you want to say something to the Let's Talk About Marriage and the Family audience? Whatever you want to say. It's been my pleasure to have you as my guest.
It's been my pleasure to be here, Dr. Joseph. And I also want to let people know to reach me even more directly. When you go to the website, you just get a plethora of information. You can find out whatever you need to find out. I have some podcasts that I'm going to be adding some more episodes to. You'll be able to read the Avail Journal article. You'll be able to listen to the podcast. Also, contact me directly at Renee Hill Carter at gmail.com. I would love to hear from you if you have specific questions.
All right. Well, you heard it here on Let's Talk About Marriage and the Family. I'm Dr. Ramona Joseph, more commonly known as Dr. Mom, and I have just enjoyed the sessions that I've had with Minister Renee Carter. Contact either one of us, as you would see the my email coming up on the screen. I want to leave you with my 3 favorite words, and those words are love and peace. God bless you.